I never believed in ghosts. Even after what happened, I still struggle to accept it. Maybe that's just my brain's way of protecting me, convincing me that what I saw, what I felt, was just my imagination. But deep down, I know the truth. It all started when I moved into a new apartment. I had just gotten a new job in a different city, and this place was perfect. Cheap rent, decent neighborhood, and close to work. The landlord, a gaunt old man named Mr. Pierce, was eager to get me in as soon as possible. He handed me the keys with a nervous smile, his fingers cold as ice when they brushed against mine. "You'll be fine here," he said. "Just don't pay too much attention to the noises." I laughed it off at the time. Every old building has creaks and groans, right? But from the first night, I knew something was off. I woke up around 3 a.m. to the sound of soft footsteps. At first, I thought it was coming from the apartment above me, but the more I listened, the more I realized the steps weren't coming from the ceiling. They were inside my apartment. My heart pounded as I sat up in bed, straining to hear. The footsteps moved slowly, deliberately, as if someone was walking barefoot across my wooden floor. I held my breath, my body frozen. Then, as suddenly as they had started, they stopped. I lay awake for the rest of the night, every hair on my body standing on end. When the sun finally rose, I convinced myself I had imagined it, but deep down, I wasn't so sure. The next few days were relatively normal. I unpacked, settled in, and tried to shake off the unease. But then, things started happening. I'd leave a cabinet closed, only to find it open when I returned. My keys would disappear from the counter and show up in the bathroom. Small things I could explain away if I tried hard enough. But then came the whispering. At first, I thought it was the pipes or the wind slipping through cracks in the walls. But it wasn't. It was voices, soft, indistinct, like someone whispering just out of earshot. Sometimes I'd hear my name. I told myself it was my imagination, that I was just adjusting to a new place. But then one night, I saw it. I had just turned off the lights and climbed into bed when I felt it, the weight of something pressing down on the mattress beside me. I stopped breathing, my body rigid. Slowly my eyes adjusted to the darkness, and that's when I saw it. A shape. A figure sitting at the edge of my bed, barely more than a shadow. Its form just barely distinguishable in the dim light filtering through the curtains. I wanted to scream, to move, but I couldn't. The air was heavy, suffocating, and then it turned its head. I don't remember what happened next. One moment I was staring into the darkness, and the next I was waking up to the sound of my alarm. The weight was gone. The figure was gone, but the terror remained. I tried to tell myself it was just sleep paralysis, a trick of my mind, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. And that night, I got my proof. I set up my phone to record while I slept. I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe nothing. Maybe just the sound of me tossing and turning. But what I found was so much worse. The video started normal enough. Me, shifting in bed, the occasional snore. But then, around 3:14 a.m., the blanket at the foot of my bed moved. Slowly, deliberately, as if someone was pulling it back. My breath hitched as I watched the screen, unable to believe what I was seeing. And then, I saw it. A shadow creeping up from the foot of the bed. It had no form, no face, just darkness, moving with intent. It loomed over my sleeping body, bending down until it was inches from my face. Then the video cut out. I didn't sleep that night. I packed a bag and left, booking a hotel across town. I told myself I'd go back in the morning, grab the rest of my things, and be done with it. But when I returned, the apartment felt different. The air was thick, heavy, as if the very walls were pressing in. My belongings were just as I had left them, but something was wrong. The silence wasn't just silence, it was absence. Like the apartment itself was waiting for something. Then I saw it, written on my bathroom mirror in what looked like condensation, were 3 words, "Don't leave yet." I ran. I didn't even take my things. I ran and never looked back. A few weeks later, I got a call from an unknown number. I shouldn't have answered, but I did. A low voice whispered on the other end, barely audible over the static. "You left too soon." The line went dead. I moved to a new city after that, far away. I don't talk about what happened. I don't think about that apartment. But every so often I wake up in the middle of the night, heart racing, and I swear, I can still hear the footsteps,